Welcome to Built for This. I'm your host, Brian Briscoe. My podcast features captivating conversations with intriguing people who have found purpose in their lives through their career, family, or life experiences, and just why they were built for this. Through the stories that you will hear, I trust that you will be inspired and encouraged to find just what you were built for. So let's get started. And welcome again to another edition of Built for This. And I am extremely happy to welcome my guest this week on the show. She is an entrepreneur, a business development expert, and someone who has built an incredible business. Amber Briggle, who is the founder and the CEO of Soma Massage Therapy, is on the show. Thanks for joining me.
I'm so excited to be here. And in your newish studio too. It's pretty awesome.
Yes, I have
debut episode.
Yes, it is. And everybody knows by now that Heart Media DFW is the producer of this show, and we are in the new digs today.
That's great.
I'm really liking that. But thanks again
for
being
happy
on
to be here. Yeah.
But we're going to talk about the journey that you are where you are right now, and a lot of interesting and exciting things ahead for the company. But for you personally, let's go way back to, I guess, when you started. Did you have this wild idea that, I want to be a massage therapist when you went to college, or was that as far from what you wanted to be?
I think I've only ever met one person in my entire life who knew when they were a kid that they wanted to go up to be a massage therapist. It's kind of one of those things you just kind of fall into. And I'd actually gone to a very prestigious all women's Catholic private university liberal arts school in Minnesota. It was a fantastic school. I got a really fascinating degree and graduated, and I still didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I was we had moved around a bit. I had married my college sweetheart by that time, and my husband Adam was going to grad school at University of Colorado in Boulder. And I was working at a daycare, and hats off to early childhood educators. If we want to have a strong democracy, we have to have well-educated citizens, and it starts at birth, right? And but it just was not my calling. I was working at a daycare, and I did not see any future for myself. Meanwhile, my husband was getting up every day and working on his future. He was working on getting a PhD, and I'm like, I want something more, but I still didn't know what it was that I wanted. And it turns out in Boulder, you're basically one of three things. You're a yoga instructor, a dog whisperer, or a massage therapist.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, I'm more of a cat person, and yoga sounds fun, but I don't want to work out all the time. So it turns out that one of the very best massage schools really in the world at that time was right there in Boulder.
Wow.
It was a 1-year program. I'm like, I can commit to a year. I can do that. I'm a very hands-on, affectionate person. I've always really been interested in alternative healing modalities. I grew up with not a lot. And so we relied on government assistance for things like doctor's appointments. But when it came time to buy cough syrup, we didn't have the money for it, right? So my mom was always making these cool witchy brews out of kind of slippery almond and licorice, and I just kind of massage just kind of seemed to kind of fit my vibe. Yeah. So I applied to the Boulder College of Massage Therapy. I was accepted. I graduated with honors a year later, and never looked back. And at every point in my career, and I'm excited we'll get to talk about our franchising journey now at Soma Massage Therapy, but at every point in my career, my goal has been mostly just to, how can I make myself as available as possible to create as much healing touch and wellness for anyone I come in contact with, knowing my physical limitations, right? There's only 24 hours in a day, and I can't work all of them. My hands get tired after a while. So how can I continue to provide quality care to people? And it's just been this gradual scaling up, whether it was just me as a solo practitioner, maybe expanding my hours, then to the point where I started hiring people, to the point that when I, had, 2 locations and now franchising. How can I continue to bring healing touch to as many people as possible without killing myself in the process? And so, no, I did not grow up. I wanted to be an astronaut.
Okay.
Then I want to be a journalist. And then I'm like, I don't know, I'm just going to go to college. And I just kind of fell into this. And a lot of massage therapists that I meet also just kind of, they have this sort of, this calling, this nurturing spirit that they want to somehow cultivate. And massage just kind of scratches that itch. So, yeah.
Now, I know you've said that being a massage therapist is what you are at heart.
Mm-hmm.
A business owner came as an accident.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that. But along the way, you traveled the world a little bit before you're going to talk about how that happened.
Yeah, my husband was finishing up his doctorate at CU. He got a job offer for a postdoc research position at a university in the Netherlands, but you can't get a postdoc without getting the doc first. So he wrote his dissertation and defended it in 3 months. It was insane.
Wow.
And he graduated. We moved to the Netherlands for 3 years. We lived in a little village called Hengelo. It was on the German border. That's where our son was born. And I was able to work there as a massage therapist because anywhere my hands go, I can work.
Work goes.
But it was I learned a lot in that process because at that time, the massage culture in the Netherlands is certainly not what it is here. Certainly not coming from, the massage mecca of Boulder, Colorado, to a little Dutch village where everyone had free healthcare and would just go see a doctor and take a pill if it hurt, right? Plus, you're living in a small town. I was still learning the language, so it was kind of hard to connect to people. So I learned a lot about how to, when you're doing your marketing, it's not a one size fits all. You really have to be, you have to recognize the culture and the community that you're in, find the needs of the people that who are your demographics and what are their needs and how can you encourage them to try out. I mean, you're taking your clothes off for a stranger,
sure,
right? That's a hard ask already.
A big step right
and
there.
then when you're having a hard time understanding the language and understanding the culture, so I had to really be nimble with my marketing. And over time, I was able to slowly build it up. I learned a lot in that process, which I'm now taking with me as I look to the future with franchising. Yeah.
So, but you start after you get back to the States, you start this journey of, and you're one of the more entrepreneuristic people I've ever met, and optimistic, and you're foresight in thinking that. But when you came back to the States. And you decided, I'm going to do this, but you started out of your house.
I did,
but that grew pretty quickly. You were referring out to other people. You had some.
Yeah, it did. It grew really fast. So we moved from Hengelo to Denton, and that honestly was a bigger culture shock for me than moving from Boulder to the Netherlands, because Boulder and Hengelo are both kind of smaller-ish, bike-centric, condensed communities. And then I moved to Denton, and I'm like, where's the sidewalk? It was it was a shock. I forgot your question. You asked how fast things grew.
No, how it started out from you started at your house.
I started at my house.
It grew so quickly.
It did. Well, I had the benefit of the Denton community market. Actually, I moved to town the fall before the community market started that spring. And I knew that if I could just get my hands on people, I knew if they could just experience what we call my quality of touch, just for 10 minutes, they'd be hooked. I knew it. And so I had a booth at the very first Denton Community Market. And all I asked, and I did free chair massage, and all I asked was, I want your phone number and an actual functioning working email. I don't want your spam emails. I'm going to trust you. And I built up my email list through that, and I would let people know, here are my availabilities, here's my rates. I didn't really have a website, but I'm like, contact me. Everything was pen and paper back then. Yeah. And they would come and see me, and then they'd tell their friends. I'd give them, a little, maybe 15 minutes free or a discount or something if they would send someone my way. And then I got really busy. And keep in mind too, this was, when was this? 2009, 2010? There really wasn't much in Denton at that time.
Right.
There really wasn't. Yeah. Not for massage. We wanted to go to taco or burger, basketball, they got that, but not much for massage. So I did have the benefit of that. I just had to get in front of people. Word of mouth, like any small business, I'm sure you've had, anyone you talk to in a small business is always word of mouth that is the biggest driver for bringing in new people. And then I just got busy. And I hired someone who's actually very interested in franchising. I think it'd be brilliant if she was my first employee and then becomes my first franchisee. But we'll get to that later. But I met her at a holiday event, and she was between jobs. And I'm like, I'm actually hiring. The issue that I was seeing is that, let me back up just a little bit. Oh. My clients loved me and saw that it was getting harder and harder to get in to see me when they wanted to. So we talked about setting up these recurring sessions. So you're going to see me every 2 weeks at this time. You get enough people that do that, and your schedule gets full. And you can still come see your massage therapist on a regular basis, but once in a while, you're going to maybe lift up a heavy bag of rocks
Yes.
at Home Depot, yes, and tweak something. And you need to get in sooner than your next appointment. I was booked for like 7-8 weeks straight out. I didn't want to tell my clients that they couldn't be seen, so I would start referring them out to other therapists in the area who I was getting work from that I knew gave quality touch, and and hoping that they'd come back to me. And most of the times my clients would come back to me, but sometimes they wouldn't. And it wasn't because the other therapist necessarily was any better, but it was obviously easier to get in to see them. Maybe their location was more convenient, what have you. And I realized I needed to start referring people in-house. So that's when I just kind of started putting it out there into the universe. I'm like, how am I going to make this happen? So I did my research. I got an LLC. I got an EIN. I registered with TDLR so I could get a massage establishment license. And I just kind of set that foundation so that when I found the right person, it was just plug and play. And I found the right person and we tag teamed. And then she got busy. So I hired another. And I'm like, okay, this is a zoning violation. I have a lot of people working out of my house right now. So then I put it out there into the universe. I really need a brick and mortar. And I found a place. It was about a mile away. Terrible location. No one could find us. But because we were by appointment only, people were dedicated to making it. And we stayed there. We were there for probably 8 years before COVID hit. Yeah. And then it just kind of pushed the reset button. Now we've got 2 beautiful locations in Denton. I've got one at 531 North Elm on the corner of Elm and Congress. One at 2500 Lillian Miller inside the Spinal Decompression and Chiropractic Center, and we're looking at franchising. So yeah, it grew really quickly. I think because there was a need, and because I was able to set that foundation, so that when the growth came, I was able to just jump on it. So
I want to talk, or I want to ask you about your journey to get where you are, and be this expert in the franchising or in the massage therapy field. But let's talk about franchising. I know that's a very important part. You've come to this point where you built this business that started in your home, now grossing more than $1 million a year in the location. And first of all, what prompted you, or what sparked you to think, I should franchise this?
The honest answer.
And why would I do that?
I took a trip to the Olympic Peninsula and I'm like, how can I live here? That's my honest answer. I'm like, this is amazing. And as a small business owner, I can't just transfer to the one to the Soma in the Olympic Peninsula because it didn't exist yet. Yeah. So I told it to the trees. I'm like, y'all seem connected. So help me out. How can I move? How can we live together? And I came back from that trip with a text in my inbox from someone who said, have you ever thought about franchising Soma? And I was like, now that's a thought.
Interesting.
Actually, maybe that's my answer. And so I started doing some research. That particular agency was not a good fit. They were really in it for the money and not for the sustainability of the brand. But it just kind of got me thinking, how can I build this? How can I make this bigger? Again, without burning myself out, because I could open, at that point I had the funds where I could open another location, say in, I don't know, Ponder or Little Elm or Sherman. Like, people come from all over to see us. Like, maybe I just bring another location to them. But then I'm like, well, then I'm going to be, extra tied to this area and I'm never going to make it to the Olympic Peninsula. So how about taking the money that I have and instead of investing it in another location, invest it in franchising? And so I found a really brilliant consulting agency, the Franchise Bible Coach. They literally wrote the Franchise Bible, Franchise Coaching Bible. Definitely recommend you picking that up. And I started doing my research, and they've been so instrumental in helping me not only understand the ins and outs of franchising, but just make what we had already at Soma even stronger. Like, I went through this basically 9-month intensive franchise boot camp where we did everything from, I extracted all that knowledge that was in my brain over the last 20 years and put it on paper. So we have an ops manual so we can duplicate our success in Topeka and Portland and St. Paul, anywhere. I can't be everywhere, but I can show you what works. Here's our blueprint, right? And what's been really fantastic about this is that I feel so confident and so grounded in this understanding that what we've done here in Denton at these 2 locations is definitely a model for success. I mean, this, having our 2 locations and grossing of $1 million a year, that happened after COVID.
Yeah.
And a lot of businesses just completely collapsed during COVID. They couldn't find a way forward. We not only found a way forward, but we just bloomed. I mean, like a freaking phoenix rising out of the ashes, right? So what I'm excited about is that through my coaches, we've created this blueprint for success, knowing that when someone jumps on as a Soma Massage Therapy franchisee, I'm able to help them not only build the business, but sustain it. Because heaven forbid, the last thing I would want is for someone to, drop their life savings and it falls apart because it was just supposed to be a money-making initiative for me. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want to bring wellness and healing and opportunities for wealth, across the country. And I do that by building a sustainable model. And you can't do that by yourself. You have to have a great team. So yeah, it came from a family vacation to the Olympic Peninsula. That's really the ultimate goal, is get me out there. So
well, I want you to talk about the passion that you've had in building the fabric or the foundation of your company. It's a very people first centric organization. You've won a lot of awards for things like that, and for just the services that you provide. But as someone who's looking to expand to franchising, and you touched on it there a little bit, that you want it to be more than someone just taking it on to make money.
Yeah.
How important is that they carry on that same fabric that you've put in place?
Yeah.
And because it's going to be a reflection of you.
Oh, it absolutely is. And I don't sell a franchise, I award a franchise. It needs to be a good fit. So there's this whole sort of like mutual discovery process that happens where the potential franchisee, they want to read our documents, our franchise disclosure document and our franchise agreement, and they come to a call. We just kind of walk them through this process. Here's our areas and levels of support, and here's what the territories look like, and here's the cost, and then they fill out this application, and we give them more information, and through this, they're getting to know us as a brand. They're getting to know me as a leader, but I'm also getting to know them. What are their values? There's an in-person discovery day where we spend a whole day together and we just get to know each other. And throughout this process, we're having these ongoing conversations. I'm answering their questions. I'm, just, are they a good fit? Soma is it's such a unique brand. We are so different from any other massage corporation out there. Our no tipping policy, full 60-minute hours. We take HSA and flex. We really personalize every single massage. I can't just have a cowboy come in here and be like, well, I know they have a no tipping policy, but you guys have been asking for it, so we're going to do that. Like, that just completely diminishes. Once you start tipping your massage therapist, you're putting us in the service industry and not in the healthcare industry where we belong, right? So it needs to be someone who aligns not only with our corporate values, but also to some degree are my personal values too. Like, we don't have to agree on every single thing, but we still need to, there are some big things that I think are very important. And if we're not on the same page with that, it's just, we're going to be working so closely together. I'm just not sure it's going to be a good fit. And so I don't sell a franchise. I award a franchise.
Very
and it happens through this ongoing conversation. Yeah.
I want to go back to the COVID. You mentioned that.
Do we have to?
Pretty much almost, I guess it did close your doors for the most part.
It did, yeah.
But what did you discover about yourself as a business leader or as a team leader that you were able to sustain all of that and overcome what looked like some unsurmountable challenges and hurdles, and they became opportunities more for you?
What did I learn about myself?
Yeah.
Shoot. I'm pretty smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the first thing that comes to mind. Like, no one knew how to handle this. No one knew. There's, do we wear a mask? Do we not wear a mask? Do we close schools? Do we not close schools? Like, do I wipe down my loaf of bread? Or, no one knew anything. Add on top of that the fact that, we don't sell products. The only thing we sell is physical touch. And you cannot do massage from 6 feet apart. It doesn't work.
That's difficult.
Right. And so we had nothing to sell. It probably was about probably 6 or 7 months before I got my first grant. So we were just operating on fumes, basically. But I think what I learned about myself is that I'm pretty freaking tenacious, and I've got some good ideas. And I also I've always been Soma has always been a people first business. It is literally our job to take care of people. And if I start cutting corners, it just cheapens the whole brand. And the last thing, you start cutting corners and people get sick during a global pandemic, they're not going to come back, right? So I needed to do everything I possibly could to keep my staff and our clients safe. And I held firm to that. I absolutely held firm. It was zero tolerance for any shortcuts. And through that, I gained a lot of massage therapists because I actually have a few therapists who are still with me who I hired through that process. Either their studio had completely closed and they had nothing to go to work to when things started opening, or they were working at a studio that was taking shortcuts and they didn't feel safe. Our clients saw the effort that we were making, and I was being very transparent with everything we were doing, trying to just help people feel a little more comfortable. And people, again, maybe they had a membership at a different massage studio, but saw that they were also cutting corners and didn't feel safe and started to see us. I also wanted to make sure that I was caring for people who couldn't come see us at that time. So I created a virtual massage studio with different, I know it sounds ridiculous, a virtual massage studio, but if you go to our YouTube channel, you can find all these self-care and self-help videos during that time. So I learned a lot how to kind of maneuver through this. And when we came out on the other side and opened in this beautiful location on Elm Street, and now we're franchising, I don't have the answers to everything, and I still make mistakes, but I think it's been a net positive. I think generally I'm a pretty strong leader who's very values centered, value focused, taking care of people. If you take care of the people first, the profits will come. But if you're chasing the profits, you're cheapening your product and putting everyone at danger. And so I've just really learned to stick true to my values, and that'll just shine through. Yeah.
You're very involved in the community, through a lot of charitable type things, it's through your business and personally.
Yeah.
And you just touched on something that I think is very important in the business world today for a lot of business owners, but selling values and selling beliefs more than products and services. That I guess if you can get the customers believing in you and trusting you and values, then you're going to get them anywhere. And so that seems like that's been a very strong foundation for Soma and for you.
Yeah, I actually have on our YouTube channel, I have a whole webinar series called Here to Help. And one of the webinars I did was about the values of having a value-based business. Like people want, especially today, I think people want to know that when they're spending their money, it's going to a place that aligns with them as well.
Yeah.
And you can define I know clearly what my values are, but in this webinar, I talk about, you need to know kind of who your target market is. Your target market can also kind of help you define what your values are. You kind of, by defining your values, define who your target market is. And we talk about different marketing techniques to reach out. And, on a shoestring budget, I have a whole webinar series, and I really hope that people would come check this out. But yeah, I think on the whole, people want to know that their money is going to causes and businesses and people that they can get behind. And we've been very fortunate being a progressive business, living in a progressive community like Denton. It's really landed well. And we get a lot of people from all over North Texas who want to spend their money with us because they know not only are they going to get the quality of care, but they just kind of know who we are.
Yeah.
And they align with that.
Yeah. Have you found, I guess, the perception or the thought of whatever people's thought might be about massage industry, the massage therapy? I mean, there's some people that say, I'm not ever going to go get a massage. I'll just be hurt. Or it's only for people that are sports related or medically related. Have you seen that change any? Because it seems to be much more prevalent now that people are that get going and getting a massage or seeking out a massage therapist is really one of the first things they might think about in getting treatment.
I think it's more accepted, by the medical community. We get a lot of clients who come and see us because their doctor recommended they get a massage, or someone's dealing with some sciatica and she's pregnant and, can't take whatever pills or and you just got to live with it until the baby gets here. And they'll recommend coming to get a prenatal massage. So I think there's been a lot of education done by professional organizations like the American Massage Therapy Association, for example, that, really try and educate the public on the benefits of massage therapy. And I think when you combine that too with the fact that, as I mentioned at Soma, we take HSA and FSA and we have a no tipping policy, puts us more in alignment with healthcare practitioners. So our clients even are starting to think about massage not as a nice thing you do on your birthday and anniversary and when your sister-in-law comes in town, but like a thing that you do on a regular basis, like seeing your chiropractor, getting your teeth cleaned, going to work out, like the things that you do consistently to keep yourself healthy. And so we've really tried to position ourselves in that sort of medical, wellness, holistic sort of approach, because it not only does it's better for our client retention, but it just is, I think, it's more authentic to the industry as a whole. Yeah.
Now I know that you mentioned a minute ago that you have virtual capabilities to help some people. And you brought a couple of props here today for some people that could actually do some things at home.
I'm glad you brought that up.
What are some interesting little
So
things?
I did a self-care seminar recently for a local nonprofit, and I brought a couple of tools. I'm doing something next week. Virtually for a group in New York City. I understand that not everyone can get to the gym or the yoga studio or, take that walk at lunchtime, and y'all are still freaking stressed out. And so I can walk you through a couple of things.
Sure.
So I brought some tennis balls, these branded tennis balls here.
With Soma on there, by the way.
You want the purple or the green?
Oh, I like purple.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is not as great as a massage therapist's elbow, but can still kind of do the trick. So you had mentioned to me before we got going that you have some sciatica you're dealing with.
I'm your candidate.
So you can imagine your massage therapist's elbow in your glutes or your piriformis, and basically put your tennis ball under. You want to play along? So whatever side that was bothering you, kind of put it, and then you can kind of like roll around. Now these chairs are a little squishy.
Yeah, but
if you take it to like a dining room table chair where it's a little bit harder. But you can kind of roll around on that a little bit and kind of apply that pressure, right? You can take a tennis ball and also, I can't stand up, but put it between you and the wall.
Yeah.
And get that spot on your shoulder, kind of roll up and down.
Okay.
That's a thing you can do.
Love that.
I brought some
towels.
Some washcloths. These are terry cloths. You kind of want the grip. But as massage therapists, we have to take care of our forearms.
Yes.
Right now, you've got people, a lot of your listeners, a lot of your guests are working professionals. They're typing a lot.
That's
and
me.
The fascia, that's the kind of the casing around your muscles, right?
Yes,
if the fascia is tight, if the fascia is tight, it's going to clamp down on those muscles and reduce the circulation. So you want myofascial release is really good. So one of the things you can do to care for your forearms is, let's say when you go to the bathroom and you're drying your hands, taking a terry cloth towel.
Okay.
You're going to grip around your forearm. You're basically going to twist in opposite directions.
Oh, yeah.
So, and you can kind of go, like if you had siblings that would give you a snake bite when you're, just kind of do that. And you can go up and down your arm too, and you can kind of see it's getting a little bit red.
Yes.
So it's bringing circulation to the area. It's tearing up the fascia. So that's the thing you can do.
Okay.
And then one more thing I want to teach, because it always just trips people out. Okay. So have you ever noticed when you're sitting at your desk and you're staring at your computer for a really long time and you start getting this like creeping headache that creeps around and it like wraps
it's working
right in
its
there.
way to your eyeballs.
Okay. So a little trick. So you're going to first some body awareness, because Soma means body, means feeling, right?
Yes.
We're trying to get people out of their head and into their body. So first some body awareness. If you place your hands at the base of your skull, where your hairline is.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now don't turn your head.
Okay.
But look side to side. Do you feel those
this
muscles?
Looks good on this. I don't think we've ever done this.
Yeah. Don't turn your head. Don't turn your head. Just move your eyes. Do you feel those muscles move in the back?
Okay. Yeah.
That's a trip, right? Those are your suboccipital muscles.
That's weird.
So you have to, so you got to stretch your suboccipitals. So what you're going to do is you're going to look over your shoulder, look down, and then bring your head down, bring a hand on your top of your head and bring your head down, and it's going to stretch that opposite side.
I guess I'm feeling that.
Yeah. So you do that now on both sides.
A little
just to even it out.
at home. technique.
Yeah. Stretch your suboccipital. I've got more on our YouTube channel.
I love that. Be sure and check that out on the Soma Massage YouTube channel. Just a little free tip there for you, or you can go see.
Come see us.
Amber and her
Open
team
7 days a
that.
week. Yeah.
This journey for you, you mentioned, we talked about that once you decided you were going to be a massage therapist, then you work with your hands, a hands-on experience, but then a whole different thing to become a business owner. And now every day, you have a lot of things on your plate, juggling as a therapist and as a business owner. But what do you think is your makeup that, and you talked about that at the start of the show, the kind of person you are that makes you built for doing what you're doing, built for this, that you've ended up being this? Because you're not just a therapist and a business owner. I know that you are very involved in helping others in business development, teaching others on how to do what you do business-wise. Is there a certain trait?
That's a really good question.
About you?
I should have known that, being that the title of your podcast is Built for This. What makes me built for this?
I think you're one of the most optimistic.
I am.
And a person who faced a lot of challenges and personally and business-wise, but that I see you as a very optimistic person. Sees them as opportunities more than hurdles.
I think one of the things that comes with being a small business owner is that you don't have the luxury of quitting your job if you have a bad day.
Good point.
Right? You have to figure it out. I've got 31 employees.
Wow.
We gross $1 million a year. We see well over 1,000 clients a month. I can't just be like, well, I'm done. Like,
I'm out.
Nope.
Yeah.
So you have to have a certain degree. I mean, you have to be optimistic because, I certainly have cracked a few teeth and lost some sleep over the 20 some years that I've been a business owner. We have bad seasons. But you just can't give up. I had COVID. I'm like, I cannot give up. I didn't do anything wrong. This is out of my control, but what can I control? I know I can get up in the morning and I can put on makeup and I can put on pants and I can turn on the camera and I can show people how to stretch their suboccipitals, right? That's a thing I can do. So just being aware of like what I can and can't control, trying to be okay with that. That optimism, I think that optimism it's part of who I am, but I think it's also a survival tactic because you can't just quit if you have a bad day. I think if we dig a little bit deeper, I think talking about, I've been a Rotarian for a decade and, I ran for city council a couple of times. No one does that to get rich. They do it out of a labor of love. I built, there's the splash park here in Denton. That wouldn't exist if it wasn't for me, so like it's wanting to just to be a giver, to give back, to leave the world a little bit better than how I found it. And if I can do that by creating a well-paying job for a therapist, creating a generational wealth for franchisees, if I can do that by helping our clients reduce their blood pressure and increase their range of motion and sleep better at night, that's a win, right? So I think it's just wanting to love on people as much as I can, and that's what brought me here. Yeah.
Well, you're persistent. I think that's a good word.
My husband would agree with that. Yes. Persistent. Also, yes.
And again, if you look back when your business was, and all businesses were facing that COVID moment, what was it about that made you think or decide to keep on keeping on instead of saying, you know what, I'll just go do something else at this point?
I just freaking love what I do. I really love what I do. It is so deeply rewarding to see someone. We had a client come in just on Saturday. She drove down from Minnesota. She's a snowbird. Drove down from Minnesota, literally limping when she walked in, and walked out smooth, like in an hour, right? Like that now I wasn't her massage therapist. I don't get my hands on people anymore. I'm too busy running the show.
Yeah.
But that brings me so much joy knowing that I was able to create that. I lost your question because I got so
No,
excited
no.
about this client.
No, it was about
Yeah.
you're being persistent, and that's how maybe you got through COVID.
How I got through
and
COVID.
decided to
Yeah, no,
do something else.
I love what I do. And I also realized that I hadn't done anything wrong.
Mhm.
I didn't make a bad financial, legal, or ethical decision. I was running a really reputable business, and there was a once in a century global pandemic and a bunch of yahoos who decided that I didn't know how to run a business safely during a pandemic.
Yeah.
So they shut us down. Meanwhile, chiropractors and physical therapists got to stay open. You know why? Because they're seen as healthcare workers. And we were seen as service industry, right?
Yeah.
Because who shut down? Hair, nails, bars,
Yes.
restaurants,
Correct.
right? So put us in the healthcare field where we belong, you ding dongs. Anyway, so I didn't do anything wrong. And I felt a commitment to my team, who at that point thought we were going to be open in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to make sure we could stay open. Had a commitment to my clients to make sure I was caring for them, and had a commitment to my family. Like, this is my income.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't really take no for an answer. I'm like, how can I fix this? And I found a way. So yeah.
The rewards that you're getting now, like you said, that you pretty much have a team that's doing the actual
I've got
therapy, and you're the business mind, and now franchising. You're looking to spread this onward.
Yeah.
But when you come to the end of a day and you just reflect on things, and maybe where you reflect where your career has gone, what's the satisfaction and the rewards that you're getting now? You have plenty of stress in looking at franchising and running a business, but the satisfaction that you get from what you've done.
What I love is payday. And I'm always the last person to get paid.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
But I love when we get around to payday and it's all there, you know? And I pay my team, and I pay my taxes, and I pay my bills, and then I pay myself. And it feels really good knowing that I have created this. Now, I have a brilliant team.
Yeah.
All of my therapists are just top notch, and I have an excellent team, both in a managerial and a front desk team. It basically allows me to be an absentee business owner. Like I live 10 minutes away, but I basically go to work once a week to get a massage and like check the mail. Maybe I'll sweep a hallway.
Okay.
You know, like I work all the time, but I'm never there.
Yeah.
But the satisfaction is when payday comes around, and it's all there. And I'm paying my team a living wage, and I created a space, multiple spaces where people can come in and feel better.
Yeah.
That just feels really, really satisfying. Yeah.
When you look at the applicants or the people perhaps that are interested in franchising and taking this model and this thing, scope it to wherever they are, what do you hope to see that they can establish there? And you've kind of touched on that, but to take the Soma model to wherever they are, mainly the message, and I guess it's what you've kind of talked about it, that it's a people-centric, people-focused thing, and see it grow in other communities.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's exactly what I want to see. Yeah, I want to see us coast to coast. I want to create wellness and healing we see over 1,000 people a month at our primary location, which has 7 rooms. And then we have a one room at a chiropractic clinic. And between those two, we see well over 1,000 people a month. And that's just here in Denton. Now imagine if we had 6 or 8 locations in DFW, and then we're in Austin, and then we're in Houston, and then we're in Oklahoma City, and then we're nationwide. I mean, how many people we could heal and care for if it wasn't just me and my team running the show here at Soma. And then also, like I said, creating opportunities for wealth. I mean, you don't need a college degree to be a massage therapist, and you don't need a college degree to own a business, and to be able to create opportunities for wealth for people who really have a passion for giving back, not only to their clients, but to their community. I just think of just all the beautiful things that we can create with that. Yeah.
Talk about your, I guess, I don't know if it's philanthropic, but it's a very charitable portion of your company, the Massage for a Cause. I know that you support a lot of different things that are important to you in the community, and I know that you would want that to be part of any franchise that would open somewhere else.
Yeah.
But Talk about why that's important to you and some of the things that that you're involved with through the.
So our Massage for a Cause program, you can find more about that on our website at mySomaMassage.com. But we've done that for, I don't even know, 100 years. And we'll partner with different nonprofits in the area, and we'll ask our clients to bring in a physical item. So people are going to come in and get a massage without even knowing that we have this Massage for a Cause thing going on. And so we want people actively thinking, I'm going to bring in canned goods, or I'm going to bring in after school supplies, or I'm going to bring in gently used whatever items for, and we'll partner. We've done, Denton County Friends of the Family. We've done communities and schools. Currently, we're partnering with one of our local food banks. We always have an ongoing drive with Interfaith Ministries collecting menstrual products, because if you have $5 and hungry kids, you're probably not going to buy tampons. You're going to buy bread, but there's still a need for tampons, right? So, so we have this program. We've always had this program. We also donate hard for our public schools.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather give $500 to the PTA to buy them coffee than $500 to Google for a sponsored ad, because the teachers need it more, and it keeps us top of mind. But ultimately, what it comes down to is that if we want our clients to be healthy and thriving and balanced beyond our doors, they need to leave our space and enter into a community that reflects that too. That our community needs to be healthy and thriving and balanced. And so we've always been this very holistic approach of like, how can we help our community thrive so that when our clients leave, they have the support and the resources and the tools that they need to eat, send their kids to a good school. If they're going to volunteer for an organization like CASA, like, do they have the supplies that they need so that they can feel supported as a volunteer? So it's just this holistic approach to like everything that we do at Soma, and just taking it out to the wider community.
And you would want to see that in franchises that you would award, that they need to have that same kind of heart and mindset? It can look
different, right? Like I said, we started, when I lived in Hengelo in the Netherlands, like it was a different sort of approach to how I was building my business. So maybe you don't have a Massage for a Cause bucket in your lobby, but maybe you do staff work days and you adopt a spot. I'm not quite sure. It's going to vary by the community, but Soma is a very giving, generous brand. And I want that generosity to be reflected in all of our franchises, and also with our clients. Like I said, like I want you to bring a physical item and think about what you can do to make your community better when you come in for your massage, not just, we're going to donate 5 or 10% to whatever nonprofit, because you're not thinking about it and you're going to get your massage anyway. So I want to see that nationwide. Yeah.
Okay. So when you look back and after you went to college, St. Benedict.
College of St. Benedict.
That's it, College St. Benedict.
Yeah.
And then you become a massage therapist, traveling the world and all of that. So you don't become an astronaut. You don't become a journalist. Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe I'll franchise so much I'll just buy a ticket to the moon.
Well, you might as well.
Seems like billionaires can do that, right? Yeah.
And you can open a franchise somewhere
in the International Space Station.
Up there.
Yeah.
Sure. I like it. See, you are big thinking.
Shoot for the stars. Like literally,
that.
Sorry, go
ahead.
So
when you look back, could you have now, in hindsight, imagine a different course, because you've channeled so much of your energy into building this business and grasping such a love and a closeness to what you do, massage therapist. I mean, no regrets, right? That you went down the journey you went?
No, but if you were to ask me if I could do anything else besides this, I no regrets, and I fully love the life that I'm living.
Yeah.
And if I couldn't do this ever again, I think I'd want to be a civil rights attorney.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that tracks, right?
Sure it does.
I could see that.
Well, you've been very...
I'm pretty tenacious.
Yes.
I go hard for civil rights.
Yep.
I like to be right. I don't like to argue, but I'd be a pretty good mediator.
I think you'd be a pretty good one.
I could do it. Yeah.
You still have time for that as well?
I'm pretty busy with this right now. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the franchising, do you have any kind of goals or timelines, or kind of track that out, or let's just get one and then go from there?
I feel like, so we're recording this now late November of 2025. I'm not sure when it's going to air, but at this point I have not yet awarded a franchise. I have a lot of really solid leads. And my sense is that once I get that first, they're all going to fall like dominoes.
Sure.
I think people are a little skittish being the first one. But the benefit of being the first one is you're the first one, and like you get my undivided attention. So, my goals, I think my mantra for 2026, I don't set New Year's resolutions anymore because I'm bad at that. But if I can have like a overarching theme, my theme for 2026 is to just be open. I'm tired of trying to force things. I know I can see my horizon. I can see myself going in that direction. But the winds might blow me off course, and I'm going to come back. And maybe I get to my destination through a really roundabout way, but eventually I'm going to get there. And I think I'm just tired of trying to fit round things into square pegs. And so I'm just going to be open. So my timeline is like, let's go like 5 minutes ago. I am ready. I'm ready for you to franchise with us. I cannot wait to meet you. But it's going to happen when the time is right. When I'm just going to put my trust into the universe and just know that things are going to fall into place when it's ready.
Well, you're doing a lot of great things, and you have a lot of great energy, and I think it's all going to fall into place.
I sure hope so.
I love your story. I love what's going on with Soma Massage, and I think there's a lot more of that on the horizon soon. So thanks so much for being on the show today.
I'm delighted to have had this opportunity to have this conversation with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Amber. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Built for This. Be sure to follow Built for This on your favorite listening platform and share it with a friend. Join me on the next episode when I will share entertaining stories of inspiration, encouragement, and purpose-driven experiences. What are you built for? Built for This is produced and recorded by Heart Media DFW.
It's an hour.
So it's about 45 to 50 minutes.
That's okay. Yeah.
It's what they've been running.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Not any longer than that. We did a little research and
when my kids were younger, they had like no concept of time, and they're like, "How many SpongeBobs until we get there?"
There you go.
I'm like, it's like an hour away. I'm like,
it's 3 more episodes.
2 or 3 SpongeBobs still. So yeah,
I get it.
So we're going about 2 or 3 SpongeBobs.
We're gonna do 2. Yeah,
okay.
Right.
All right.
So you'll get the gist of it.
Okay.
So if you get antsy, just know that there's one more
SpongeBob
to
left.
go.
Okay. Got it.
We're not finished.
Okay.